Well, there we go. Welcome to Arm Wrestling Tonight. This is Hollywood Matt Connelly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera, and we are appearing on camera right now. Hello to you, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Stockbridge is hopefully jumping in a little while. I think he's a very busy man. He runs his own company, and sometimes he finds it a little tricky to fit all these things in with his schedule, and but that's okay. We'll see if he jumps in soon, but we'll see also who wins the first comment award. We've got one person who's watching. I'll see if they're going to put a comment in and be the winner. Yesterday it was Lucky Wood who got the first three in a row. Normally it used to be the king of first time commentators, and that was the Drew. But he's fallen a little behind. He keeps getting swept by French McGee and Lucky Wood recently. Although my thing is struggling to load the chat for some reason, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll pop up in a second. But so Arm Wrestling Tonight. Welcome to the show. We've had such a huge weekend with AWE on the previous weekend with AWE Grand Prix 3. Fantastic event. We can't wait to be able to show it to everybody. We do have a media buyer that we are presenting it to, so we will find out in the next few days whether or not it gets picked up to be broadcast on national television, and if that is something that can happen, then we would be over the moon. If not, we will be posting it on our channel, but either way you will be able to see it in one form or another, whether it's on social media or whether it is on national network. So yes, but it is great to see everyone here, and trying to get this bloody chat thing to work. It's giving me that, that little style thing that just keeps spinning. It's like either nobody's written anything or my side of things is just not working. That's okay. That's all right. I really wanted to see the chat because I wanted to see who is in here. But maybe I'll have to load it on the YouTube side of things in the background, which I might do right now because I'm not seeing the chat. I'm not seeing who's winning the race. I'm not seeing any of that stuff. It's all hidden from me. So I'm going to have to go to my own channel here and go to my own live. I've got to look up myself. Apologies, I'm looking through a ring light at the moment, which makes it difficult. Like my camera is right in front of me, and then the ring light's around it, and the icon that I need to click is behind that, so it's like a real tricky thing to do. Okay, here we go. Let's see now. Can I make sure it's muted? There we go. All right, it should be popping up with the chat in a second. Now I've got to watch myself on the screen in a delay of 10 seconds. This is tremendous. It's great. So I can make a mistake and then I'll know about it, but you won't know about it for 10 seconds. But then I get to see it again. Anyway, regardless of that, we had a tremendous weekend. AWE Grand Prix 3, the 8-man double elimination tournament that took place with the middleweights at 85 kilos and below. What a tremendous event. In all honesty, it was exciting from start to finish, and there was upsets galore. There was people that were winning matches that I thought would they were the heavy underdog, and we saw this is what's always fun with these AWE events, these Grand Prix events, is that there's always somebody that pops out as a dark horse or as a they have a standout moment, and it's like I think in AWE, the Grand Prix 1, we had Andy Boskovsky doing tremendously well, almost doing very, very nicely against Mato Orengi Hedemorris in his opening round. Didn't get the win, but looked very, very strong. Then getting a pin over Guntas Baikovs, who is a multiple-time Australian national champion. So, fantastic to see that for Andy Boskovsky. Andy Handsome, as some like to call him, because he seems to have 3 different last names for some reason. Anyway, AWE Grand Prix 2, we saw Alex McKinnon, the dragster, really taking a leap forwards, winning a lot of matches where you thought, well, maybe he wouldn't be the favorite in this, beating super heavyweights like Marcus Atirai, and still continuing despite the fact that he had an elbow issue. So tremendous effort from Alex McKinnon there. Let's see if I can get my chat thing to work properly again. There's no overlay here. What's going on? Oh, we'll see if I can bring it up that way. Oh, there we go. I can't select the comments, but I can see them now. There we go. So it looks like Lucky is the winner again with good morning right at the start. That would be cool. Arm wrestling on television is always great. Hi Lagia, hello, the Lucky Ones podcast, and oh, the super chat. Wow, I'm glad that I figured out how to bring up these chats. My screen for some reason is having an error on half of it. One half of it is terrible. The other half is fine. The half that I can see the chat is terrible. So I can see it on the screen now, which is great. And Spermy's asked Screamy, what a tremendous man he is. Super chat there, 13.99 Canadian dollars. Look at this dead success, dude. Thank you, sir. Hedamorris, yes, absolutely. He is a monster of a man and a lovely, lovely person. The complete contrast of what you would think when you walk up to 165 kilo, gigantic ball of muscle with face tattoos. And he is the nicest man you'll ever meet. Spooby's Elsa's Creamy was first, says Lucky Ones. Okay, I beat the Drew. Okay, fantastic. Yes, I'm getting that lovely, the circle thing where it says I'm loading, but it's been doing that the entire time for the chat on my side, but I can see it on the screen there. So, but yeah, so thank you, Spermies Ice Creamy. A pleasure to meet you in Ireland. We were in Ireland when I happened to have the privilege of meeting you in a pub, and we were trying to remember. There was a clip that you liked from our podcast. Both of us could not remember the name of Christopher Reeve. And it was Stephen Hawking was the name, and I kept thinking Christopher Reeve the entire time, and I think we sat there for about 40 seconds in silence, just trying to remember what the actual name of this bloody person was. Anyway, that's so off topic. I'm sorry, guys. I get distracted with that. I just think it was quite a fun moment. I do think about it several times because I feel like it was awkward, and I was like, that was the answer, and I should have known what the answer was, but I sat there trying to figure it out for 40 seconds. I should have moved the topic on, but I sat there trying to figure it out, and yeah, that's why I don't know. It sticks in my mind as yeah, I should have just been like, okay, whatever. I'll remember it as I'm talking about another topic. So regardless of that, anyway, regardless of that, Alex McKinnon, AWE Grand Prix 2, stepping up to the plate and really delivering. He looked like he had a serious issue with his elbow in his first matchup against Ryan Bowen. We heard a loud pop, and I mean, it did turn out to be an injury. After the fact, we found out about it, till Alex found out about it. But he was able to continue, much to his credit. And he didn't get the win against Ryan, but he did get some significant wins through the tournament. And beating somebody like Marcus Satiro was absolutely incredible. And so that was another sort of standout moment. We had some standout moments from the weekend as well. And yes, so you would have seen on the news, it was on Channel 7 News, that Jacob Tuxworth was the winner, the worthy winner of the AWE 3 Grand Prix. And yes, what a fantastic young man he is. I like to call him the silent assassin. He's very sort of, I guess, softly spoken and very humble, and it was fantastic to see that all the hard work that he has been putting in over the last few years is paying off, because every time I have seen him compete at a tournament, he seems to get better and better and better. And him competing with us at the weekend, he just looked like he knew exactly what he needed to do in terms of his setup. It looked like he had studied every opponent and every possible scenario or situation significantly in those setups, the way that he was able to strategize against each opponent and roll through their weakness. So credit to Jacob Tuxworth. And yeah, sometimes the credit isn't given where the background work of looking at what your opponent is good at and how you can exploit it is so critical to being able to find success, especially in a tournament situation. We did think that Josh Barker, I seeded him number 2 for a reason, because he has that lightning fast press, and a press in a tournament scenario is a tremendous weapon. because you can utilize a very, very quick movement and get a pin, and roll through 3, 4, 5 opponents with minimal energy, just explosiveness. Maybe you find yourself in the grand final before you actually have to change up your tactic because you know that this guy is too strong and he can catch your press or whatever. Or maybe you're feeling gassed at that point in that movement, so you're going to have to change to something else. But you can get yourself very deep in a tournament just because of that explosivity. Whereas, if somebody is using a hook or a top roll and they get in a war and a back and forth battle, that's where you can see guys fatigue very quickly. And by the second or third match, they've gone so hard in those first two that they're very compromised by the time they get to the third. But yeah, so that podcast we were trying to remember made my week. Yes, that's great. It was a good moment. We say that Stephen Hawking was a great arm wrestler, and no one could beat his hook. It was a really good hook because he was. Sounds so terrible. So I shouldn't be repeating again because he's so twisted in. No one could pull him out of that hook. It was it was a good moment of the show. But that's who we were trying to remember, Stephen Hawking, and I kept thinking Christopher Reeve, but yeah, and I think I did the exact same thing during the actual live thing. But anyway, Shin is here. Hello to Shin. How are you? And Shin says he can't wait for the Grand Prix 3 videos. Well, they are being edited up right now. We have been working on them all week. Massive, massive files. I had was a terabyte portable hard drive, and that was not enough. It was like, no, you're going to get about a quarter. I was like, God. So yeah, these files are absolutely enormous. But yeah, so we had the AWE 3 Grand Prix. Great to see Jacob Tuxworth get the victory there. We had some tremendous battles back and forth, some big upsets. And the good thing is that we can see once it's all out and we've edited it nice and we've got it crisp, you're going to have a product that you're really going to enjoy. It should be around maybe 30 minutes long or something like that, where you see the entire 8-man double elimination tournament take place. And within that 30 minutes, you've got to start, you've got to finish, which is, for me as a viewer, yeah, that's what I want to see. I absolutely despise cliffhangers when they get halfway through the thing. The episode ends and they're halfway through, and you're like, "Well, I'm never going to see the other one. I didn't deliberately watch this show. Now I have to try to seek out the other episode." So yeah. Anyway, Shin says, "What's the podcast called? I have to watch it." Oh, I think that was one of our other we've done a few now. It wasn't the Daily Combat Podcast or AWE podcast. I can't remember. It is on my Instagram, that clip, but yes, it is quite a fun little moment. Who else have we got here? The Lucky Ones podcast says, so I got the perfect lineup for the ladies round robin. Wow, that is fantastic. Yes, I love round robins. I really do enjoy the fact that everybody has to go against everybody else. And yes, there's the question of, well, what order have they faced each other in? Because maybe somebody's gone through 7 or 8 matches before you go against them, and they're half or a quarter of what they actually would be if they were fresh. But I mean, that's kind of unavoidable, really. But I do enjoy the fact that everybody has to face everybody else, and it's sort of, at least if you can look down the line and say, well, yeah, I went against all those guys, and I know I would never, regardless, I wouldn't beat 6 out of 8 of those, but maybe I would have had a bit of a better go with those last 2 or whatever. But you have the knowledge there now because you've had so many matches. I think the more matches you can have, the better, especially under ready go conditions with the referee setting you in the right positions, because it is critical, and it is a critical part of arm wrestling if you're going to be competitive and if you're going to be successfully competitive. You need to know about what setup you need, what you're good at, how to get what you need, and how to prevent your opponent from getting what they want and what they need. It's it's such a massive element of the sport, which is when people who aren't educated on the sport, when they see that setup, they think, "Why is this taking so long?" It's like, well, both guys are trying to get whatever grip they're trying to get, the ideal perfect grip. The referee is trying desperately to keep it as fair as possible, but so that is a skill unto itself, and the more matches that you can have, um, obviously that's going to help you get used to starting in those situations and trying to find how you can get the best possible setup for yourself, prevent your opponent from getting their ideal setup, and then timing the actual start as well, because every referee is going to do it differently. Some will say ready go, some say go, some will put their hands on yours and then go. Some will just stand back and say go. It depends. And so one critical piece of advice for new pullers is that if you're entering a tournament, then watch the referee and see the rhythm of how they're saying go and how are they setting people up. So maybe the instruction is close your thumbs, close your hands, go. And maybe this referee has a pause there. They might say close your thumbs, close your hands, go. The others might say close your thumbs, close your hands, go. Like it's just you'd need to sort of understand which referees are doing it in which rhythm, because you might get the ideal setup, but if you miss that go, you're going to be half or three quarters of the way down towards the pin pad before you actually can stop them and pull them back in. So, yeah, it is a crucial element. I do know that there is an app out there which is just like it's a random sequence of a voice going ready go, and so the idea is that you get sort of set up on a table, and I guess you could use a resistance band or something like that, and you just wait, and it's like ready go, and you just hit ready go, but it's randomly said. It's not like it's not a rhythm to it that you can predict. It's constantly changing, which I thought was kind of cool. Uh, yeah, would really help with those timings. But I think one of the big instructions that I've seen out there is to watch the referee's mouth. And if you're getting set up and your hands are getting closed, you've got to watch, because that you can see when that referee is gonna, their mouth will make that go, that shape like they're about to say it, whether it's ready or whether it's go. And if you're very conscious of that, regardless as to, you can, I mean, you don't have to be looking at your hand to see what your hand is doing. So you can watch that referee and then it's like go and smack straight away, get the start. Dave Stockbridge is in the chat. He says, I love this podcast. Well, you can jump in if you want, Dave. I sent you the link. Lucky One says, some will bark and scare the heck out of me. Some scream go like Hollywood. I do scream go. That is correct. Yes. I did match to the double biceps. The lawyers are always watching. I did do the double biceps. I can hit it again for you if you would like, just so that we can make sure that everyone's covered safely. This is looking quite beefy today. All right, that's enough of that. We'll put that away. Yeah, so the Lucky Ones, Lucky Wood says that some scream go. I do scream go, and the reason I do that is I don't want any question as to whether or not the match has started. It's very obvious that the match started when I yelled. So it's very much a go. And you'll know that the match has started. But yes, French McGee, I think, has jumped out of her skin multiple times whenever I have done that at the start. I think actually I got into elbow foul once just from. Oh, fantastic. What is, like he says here, they got rid of it in the States, and I wish I could read the rest of that comment there. I can't bring it up. I'm getting a slight error on half of my screen. They got rid of it in the States, and it's something training. Oh, that's okay. Well, I'm sure that we'll figure it out. Spoomy Sounds Creamy says, I randomly say ready go for $1.98 an hour. All right. There you go. That's if people are interested in that, they can contact Spermies Arses Creamy. Fantastic name, fantastic man, and obviously a play on words for Hermes Gasparini. Very clever, part of the troll army there. I don't know if everyone remembers that for a little while, maybe it was a year ago, or a year and a half ago, or something like that. But where people were just coming up with the most ridiculous troll arm wrestling nicknames, and obviously Spermy's Ass is Creamy is part of that era, that golden age. But Devon's forearm, he's from that era as well. We saw, what was it, Saganashvili's liver, or it was a few Siplinoff's bicep, and I don't know. There was a whole bunch of fantastic troll names that were getting around. It was on every arm wrestling video on YouTube. All the YouTube comments would be these hilarious names. One of my favorites, which is it's Sylvester Stallone, Sylvester's Talone, and it always makes me laugh. Good guy. I spoke to him on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and it always makes me sort of giggle about that. Just checking here, Dave Stockbridge says, is Matt trolling Don with his, can only get half of that one, Dave. I don't know why, but that's okay. We'll interpret and keep going as we go. So what we're going to look at earlier here. Maybe I can see it on here. I can see, if I go to my own YouTube, I can see the full comments. That is great. All right, where are we up to here? They got rid of it in the States. Okay. It's ruined my training. Ooh, what were we talking about back then? Spoon's Ice Cream, he says, my coach made me a 2-minute video of him yelling go when the app was no longer available. It's no longer available? What? Is Matt trolling Don with his... Oh, that was it? That was the end of the comment, Dave. There was no extra bit of that. All right. Okay, that's okay. Yes, but we were very, very pleased with how the AWE 3 Grand Prix went on the weekend, and a tremendous match between Brett Coots and Rickard Bornman. And I know Grant Law loves the fact that we put the effort in to put the R in Rickard, because it is a South African way of saying his name. But so we saw a fantastic battle between those two men. The ideal back and forth that you would want to see if you are putting together a super match, regardless as to the scoreline at the end of the day. You just want to see a war, and you want to see a story being told through the match. Flash pins are, they have their place, but I'll always prefer an actual real battle and war. We can see how much each guy wants it. You can see the tactics on display, the movements that they're trying to find, that they're trying to corner their opponents. It's very chess-like, and it's all happening in microseconds, and all in slight little adjustments of your hand. Lucky one says Neil Pickpocket is one I see in every Neil Pickpocket. Oh yeah, okay, the funny nicknames, yes. Grant Law says, I watched Paul Atkins in action last night. A bit disappointing with the lack of arm wrestling action. I could have hooked somebody's neck off. Yes, Paul Atkins, referring to a horror movie that I played the bad guy in, the murderer, the killer, the waster of life, the beheader of heads. So they're called Spit Hood, but I'm glad that you spent the 55 minutes of your time watching that, Grant. I didn't tell anybody that it was a fantastic movie. I said it is what it is. It's an independent film, and great to see it being available out on streaming and everything like that. And it was a lot of fun to do. Love doing those sorts of things. And yeah, credits to uh, everyone who worked on the film and put it together. Met a lot of cool people. Uh, yeah, Spoopy's answers can be rolling those R's. Nice. Yes, Rickid Bornman, and it's one of my favorite ones to say. Also, Mataru Warangi Hitamoris is another favorite. And yes, it is one of those ones that I really had to practice that one. And I'm probably still saying it wrong, but that's the way that I'm going with it at the moment. Lucky Ones podcast says, I knew that Rickard or Brett would have called that, something or another would have called that one correctly. I'll see if I can find the full comment here. I knew that Rickard or Brett would win, so I totally called that one correctly. Yeah, that is a great call. When there's two people in the race, if you pick both of them, you'll definitely win. Well done to Lucky there. That's fantastic. Damn, I definitely need to see that, Matt. The film, yeah, it's called Spit Hood. It's on Amazon Prime or something, Amazon Streaming and Vimeo, I think, as well. Yes, I think you can rent it, or you can whatever purchase it or something or another. But strangely, it's been actually out in I think it was out in the UK and America since like January, and it was like it was made here in Australia, but the distributors, their way that their system works, it seems to be based on dates and schedules, and so to get it available here in Australia, it was only a week ago, I think, that it actually popped up on Amazon Prime. But yeah, Spit Hood is the name. Spit Hood. Spit Hood. Yeah. I'm glad that Grant enjoyed the film there. Did Paul Atkins have COVID? Very reasonable of him to keep the mask on. It was. That's absolutely correct. I did keep the mask on the entire movie, despite the fact that when I was wearing it, I could only see from here above, and anything beneath me I could not see whatsoever, which resulted in a lot of getting injured. When people in the movie are fighting for their life, when you're trying to grab and strangle them, uh, there's not a lot of difference between fighting for your life for fake and fighting for your life for real. Kicking the crap out of my feet is real regardless. So, and I couldn't see it coming because I couldn't see anything beneath this way. But anyway, a lot of fun. That's what making movies is all about. And the Claymore is jumped in as well. He says, "Hey guys, great to see you, James. Hope you're well, and that everything is going well in your world over there." So Miss Arms Screaming says, I'm on days off after midnight shifts. I'll be watching it. Alrighty, good on you, my friend. So yeah, well, Dave Stockbridge was not able to jump in today. Very busy man, and usually it's actually unlucky that we have enough time for him to sneak in and get a go on here. We've been very privileged lately, but yeah, we were very, very thankful to Dave for everything that he was able to pull together for AWE 3 Grand Prix 3 on the weekend. And yeah, we did a lot of hard work putting it together, and there was a lot of running around and sweat that Sunday morning before the event. We started it at 12, and I think from 6 a.m. to 12, I was nonstop just running all over the place, and I was carrying tables. I was picking tables up from somebody's car from 2 streets away and like running it down to the thing. And I'm socket wrenching things together and trying to set up the brackets in the computer. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, it was very chaotic, but it all came together. And of course, at the same time, everyone's turning up and they want to say hello. And you're like, hey, fuck, running past with a screwdriver. Anyway, Grant Law says that last night's podcast has been circulated around South Africa. It would seem a Southern Hemisphere tournament is building momentum. Fingers crossed. All right, fantastic. And the Claymore Lucky says that Dave is the man. He is a fantastic man and has done tremendous things for arm wrestling, and not only for South Australia, but for Australia, for all the Southern Hemisphere, and everybody that we can enjoy that watches our content from around the world. It's yes, a huge impact, and we love the fact that we looked across the room on Sunday afternoon, and 90% of the people that were in there were very proudly wearing the AWE t-shirts, and it was a very privileged moment for myself. I did take a photo because it was it's almost that dream come true kind of thing. You know, it's unbelievable that it's so strange. It's really, really weird to see, you know, like when we work on a t-shirt design and it's like, okay, yeah, this looks great, and then you see people wearing it proudly, and it's like, oh, that's really amazing. So it's just it's so I do feel very, very lucky, very, very privileged to be part of the arm wrestling community. And with that, I will say thank you to everybody, and we'll end it there. And I'll see if I can see my thing behind my ring camera there. We've got the little outro video made by my gorgeous girlfriend, Angie. So thank you again for that. And we will see you again next week.